Recently, there was an unrest in Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Protests turned violent and skirmishes erupted between locals and law enforcement. But what exactly did happen? Why did it happen? And how has it been resolved? Since May 2023, residents of Azad Kashmir had been protesting against rising costs and economic hardships. The Joint Awami Action Committee, a coalition of civil rights groups, had been leading these protests. Their main demands included subsidies on wheat and electricity, which had become increasingly expensive. These protests escalated dramatically in the early May of 2024. The tipping point came when the cost of essential goods like flour and electricity soared, putting immense pressure on local communities. People took to the streets, demanding immediate relief from the government. The situation quickly turned violent. Clashes between protesters and security forces led to the destruction of property and loss of life. Reports indicated that at least 3 protesters were killed and many others, including police officers, were injured in the ensuing chaos. In response, the Pakistani government deployed additional security forces to the region and announced an emergency grant of over $82 million. This grant aimed to reduce the prices of flour and electricity, addressing some of the protesters' key demands. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif urged calm and emphasized the importance of resolving these issues peacefully. The government agreed to reduce electricity tariffs and provide subsidies on wheat, promising further economic support. Following these announcements, the protests began to subside. The Joint Awami Action Committee cautiously welcomed the government's concessions, but stressed the need for formal agreements and implementation. As of now, life in Azad Kashmir is gradually returning to normal. Business and schools have reopened, and internet services, which had been shut down during the height of the unrest, have been restored. The recent events in Azad Kashmir highlight the residents' struggle for economic stability and their demands for greater control over local resources. While the government's response has brought temporary relief, the long-term resolution of these issues will require continued dialogue and action.